Retirement planning doesn't have to be complicated. With a little bit of knowledge, it can be pretty easy, and the profits earned from investing will be more than you could have earned from working. Unfortunately, it's all too common to make the wrong financial moves regarding retirement. Most of us know that we should be saving and investing for retirement, but there are some major mistakes that can cost you your future financial success. These mistakes could ruin your retirement plans. Take note of these 9 common and detrimental moves so you can avoid them. Stay to hear number 1, which is one of the most popular and disastrous mistakes retirement planners can make. Number 9, not rebalancing your portfolio. Take a look at your portfolio once per year at the least to ensure it's properly balanced. You want to be diversified across many different stocks and sectors without keeping too much in one area of the market. If one position grows to a large percentage of your portfolio, you should consider trimming that holding and moving the funds elsewhere. Kevin O'Leary recommends never having more than 5% of your portfolio in any one stock and never more than 20% of your portfolio in any one sector. Employees often keep too much of their retirement in their company's stock, often far more than the 5% that O'Leary recommends, without even realizing the danger. This is an extremely common and risky mistake, even more so because most employees don't perform the proper analysis on their company's stock. Number 8, not saving now. Thanks to compound interest, each dollar you put away early on will grow exponentially over the years. This is famously referred to as the eighth wonder of the world by Albert Einstein. He who understands it earns it, he who doesn't pays it. The earlier you begin investing, the better. The problem is that many of us avoid it because it's not the right time, or they say I'll do it when I have more money. You don't need to save a lot to begin or at any one point because even small amounts will grow to large amounts of money over time. Like I have said before, people don't invest because they have too much money, they invest because they want more money. Waiting until you have more money to put away is a losing strategy that will prevent you from getting started and prevent the small moves that will ultimately help you become wealthy. Number 7, not considering tax. If you plan on being in a higher income tax bracket when you retire, you should consider investing within Roth 401k or Roth IRA. With these accounts, the taxes are paid throughout your working years and the money can be withdrawn tax-free during retirement. This is ideal for lower tax bracket earners who plan on retiring with a high investment income. If you think your tax bracket will be lower when you retire, a traditional IRA or 401k is generally a better option. This provides a deduction during your contributing years, but the money that you withdraw during retirement is taxed at ordinary income rates. Regardless, tax diversification is important because we don't know exactly what the future will look like. Many people only contribute to a 401k for their entire career and then are surprised they don't have enough money to retire because the taxes eat up a large percentage of the distributions. Number 6, taking on too much debt. Saving for retirement is much more difficult when you continually fall into the trap of instant gratification, where you can purchase something and pay for it over time, before you can actually afford it. Anyone who plans on building wealth will need to restrict impulse spending. Inefficient use of debt over the course of a career will really make a difference in the financial quality of your retirement. People who have already retired attribute their ability to live comfortably to the fact that they're debt-free. Having no loans allows them to live on a much lower amount and with less risk and stress. A retiree with a mortgage, auto loans, and other debt will need significantly more money to retire than someone that's debt-free. Additionally, high-interest debt will cancel out investment returns earned. Number 5, not planning for healthcare costs. People don't like to think about their medical needs, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't. According to Fidelity, the average couple will spend $285,000 on healthcare during retirement, and that doesn't even count long-term care. Staying healthy before and during retirement will help keep that amount down. When expenses do arise, Medicare will help, but it still only covers about 80% of retirement healthcare costs. You should save enough money to purchase additional insurance or plan to pay out of pocket for what you owe. A common misconception is that spending will go down during retirement because the house has paid off and the car is owned outright. It might, but the cost of healthcare could easily end up being as much as the previous mortgage and car payment. Number 4, taking Social Security earlier than necessary. The longer you wait to file for Social Security, the higher your benefits will be up until age 70. By taking the benefits at age 62, you will also be limited to only earning about $19,000 per year at a job until you reach age 65. Any amount you earn over that, your benefits will be reduced. Unless you plan on fully retiring, or if you don't earn much money, it could make sense to wait until at least age 67. If you're already retired upon reaching your 62nd birthday, you might decide to take the benefits and invest them in your own account instead. Don't simply assume any one age is best for taking those benefits. Number 3, taking the wrong amount of risk. It's tempting to invest your money into something speculative and hopes to make a lot of money quick. Most wealthy people become so by investing their money steadily over time into something stable with a long history of profitability. Stay away from keeping too much money in any unproven investment and remember to keep it balanced. If you had $1,000 in Bitcoin that has outgrown other investments in your portfolio, don't be tempted to put all your money in there. Keep your exposure to risk low, especially as you amass a large sum that would be hard to replace. On the other hand, you need to take enough risk so your portfolio will help you reach your goals. It will be difficult to grow your investments if you leave everything in bonds or an equivalent. Carefully assess your risk tolerance by taking into account things like how long until you retire and your margin of error. Number 2, failing to plan your estate. Making plans for your money for after your death isn't the most pleasant or exciting. If you have specific instructions for your assets, you want to document them properly. Assets that make up the estate include houses, cars, stocks, artwork, pensions, and more. Individuals have various reasons for planning an estate, such as preserving family wealth, providing for surviving spouse and kids, funding your heirs' education, or leaving assets behind to a charity. It's recommended to set these documents up with the proper legal professionals to make afterlife planning easier for your loved ones, as well as ensure your final requests have been executed. You certainly don't want your leftover money going to somewhere that you wouldn't want it to. Number 1, ignoring inflation. For the first 2 or 3 years of retirement, inflation won't really be worth considering. However, if your retirement lasts 30 years, inflation could be a real threat to your income. Start by using the 4% sustainable withdrawal rate, which will help you withdraw from your savings with annual adjustments for inflation, with little to no chance of ever running out of money. A common misconception is that you can simply divide your entire nest egg by how many years of retirement. Take, for example, someone who needs $100,000 per year in income. If they accumulate $3 million, then they could simply withdraw $100,000 every year from that sum, right? No, there are 2 problems with that. Number 1 is that it doesn't account for inflation. $100,000 today buys much more than it will in 30 years. It will have less than half the purchasing power by then. Number 2 is that if it's invested in the market, it doesn't account for market fluctuations and prolonged recessions. The 4% withdrawal rule covers both scenarios.